right, here we are on the world famous Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica, California. Today we are looking at classic TV filming locations from Three's Company, and it starts right after this. Whoa, now hold on. You can't talk about Three's Company without talking about the pilot for Three's Company. And the pilot was filmed in 1976. Three's Company could have been a completely different show. And this would have been the apartment. The roommates could have lived here. John Ritter portrayed David Bell, and he was an aspiring filmmaker, not a chef. It's a pretty big difference. Jenny was played by Valerie Curtin, and Samantha was played by Suzanne Zenner. I think that's how you say it. All right, so Jenny and Samantha, there was no Janet and Chrissy. Jenny, Valerie Curtin, Samantha, Susan Zenner, and that was filmed in 1976. This was what the apartment would have looked like. It's changed, obviously. There's a gate over it. Some of these bushes and trees have grown. But this is North Hollywood, and as we know, the show takes place in Santa Monica, California, so it could have been completely different. This was based a little bit more off the English version of the show, and they were still getting their bearings. A few other differences: Stanley Roper, Mr. Roper, played by Norman Fell still. Norman Fell and Audra Lindley were in this as the Ropers, but he was called George Roper at the time. He hadn't been Stanley yet. It was a little bit more abrasive humor, probably a little bit racier. And you can watch it, it's online. They've included it in DVD sets, but it's a totally different show. And in 1977, they shot a second pilot, January of 77. And in that second pilot, Susan Lanier played Chrissy. She was the first Chrissy, the original, but they did have Joyce DeWitt. Joyce DeWitt was in the show for the second pilot. The second pilot does not show this apartment complex. This apartment complex is only shown in the first pilot. And that's it. It's a funny little part of history to see this, and not something that most people think of or regard, as they only know the Santa Monica location of Three's Company that I'm going to show you before the end of this video. In case you want to move in. All right, now that we got the house from the pilot out of the way, it's time to get started with the real stuff. The stuff from the show that started in 1977 that became a favorite of all of ours. Let's get out to Santa Monica and see the filming locations from Three's Company. All right, we're here in Santa Monica, California at the world famous Santa Monica Pier, talking about filming locations from Three's Company. Some of the most memorable clips from Three's Company are in the credits, take place on this very pier. If you were out there in a sailboat, you would be looking at some of these buildings. Some of these buildings were not there at the time, but you might recognize some. I recognize a few. In the opening credits, you at least see these four buildings. I'm going to get in real tight there so you can see them. You match this up right there, Three's Company credits. All you gotta do is come down here to the end of the pier and you can get this view. Or you could go out on a sailboat. I don't know if I would get on a sailboat out there. If you were a fan of Three's Company, you definitely remember the carousel, the merry-go-round. And this is it. Obviously things have changed a little bit, almost 50 years. But it is still here. It's a landmark. And let's take a look. I don't know. I never see anybody actually going on it. It says it's open. I would like to go on it. I picture Ralph Furley scared. I picture Jack between the two horses. I'm sure all of you do as well. But yeah, it looks like it's open. I think we should go on it. I think we should experience the carousel. In the credits, you see these you see these shaped windows like that. That's all in the background. So I mean, the horses may have been updated, but a lot of this still looks the same. And it's funny. This is something that I'd watched these credits all my life. I never really thought, I would get to ride the Three's Company carousel. To me, it will always be known as the Three's Company carousel. Anyway, let's get on board. All right, we're going to ride the Three's Company carousel. Now, it was $3 per ride, $3 for adults, $3 for children. And I don't think $3 is all that bad to experience history. Three's Company history, that is. The question is, do I ride a horse? I think you ride one on the outside like Mr. Furley did. That's my theory. Anyway, here we go. Some important notes. Horses on the outside road do not move up and down. So maybe Mr. Furley didn't go up and down. And if you're over 200 pounds, which might be me. I'm going to call you should call Doctor Now. You got to do the work. Oh, chariots only. I don't think they'll catch me. All right. I can't say I had this on my bucket list, but now Mr. Furley would have been on the outside, and Jack, Chrissy, and Janet would have been in the middle. Jack would have been standing between the two. This part looks the same. And a lot of it does. Maybe not the exact horses. All right, I crossed that off my list of television history. Riding the Three's Company carousel, and $3, that's not bad. I mean, I thought they would gouge us. And look, you get into ride history. This thing is old. I didn't read the sign, but it's old. 100 years old? I don't know. Maybe they've refurbished the horses, but anyway, we're coming to a stop. I won't tell them that I think I might be slightly over 200 pounds these days, but and I still rode the horse. Thank you. Can anyone watching identify one of the horses who was on the show? We're having trouble, and maybe they've all been remodeled, but who knows? Maybe you could spot one. There's some historic information about the carousel as well, and it looks like a lot of things began in the 1916, 1917. Some of these photos are from the 30s. No mention of Three's Company. I'm a little surprised. In this day and age, people love to talk about pop culture. I have an entire show about it. I'm surprised they don't have a photo. Here's a little information about the Santa Monica Pier Carousel, which was called the Hippodrome. The sign is harder to read, but it looks like it's been here since 1947, if you want correct information, 1947. Now, while the carousel is still here and functioning, a lot of people remember in the credits the bumper cars. And look, a lot of people have done videos about Three's Company filming locations, but I can tell you one thing. People have speculated where the bumper cars were. But all you have to do is ask. I went to the visitor center. I asked where the bumper cars used to be. And now I'm going to show you. This is the Pleasure Pier. Now, off to your left, you see roller coasters and Ferris wheels. None of that was here in 1977. That is a much later addition. So people have speculated where the bumper cars were. That scene at the bumper cars made me laugh for ages. Larry gets in the bumper car with the guy with long hair thinking it's a hot chick and turns around, and it was definitely some other fun laughs. But so we're going down the Pleasure Pier, and what I've been told is that the bumper cars used to be located at the end of the Pleasure Pier, and that now it's a beer garden. So maybe for the first time in history, we'll show you the correct location of the bumper cars. If not, it still sounds nice, doesn't it? So, okay, here we go, Pleasure Pier. And this is the end of historic Route 66 trail. It stops literally right here. This is it. So double the history. So we're gonna go down the Pleasure Pier and we're gonna see if we can't find the site of the bumper cars. You'd have to think when they were filming this that they said, all right, let's go down to the Santa Monica Pier and grab some fun shots. At the end of the day, no one knew who they were yet. They weren't famous. Here's a little information about Playland Arcade, which apparently has been here for quite some time as well. Now, I have heard speculation that this may have been the site of the bumper cars, but that is not what I was directed. I was directed to the end of the Pleasure Pier for your pleasure. I wouldn't do that. All right, this is the end of the Pleasure Pier, and here is the beer garden right across from the beach. This would be the site of the bumper cars, the site that nobody has correctly located. This information comes directly from the Santa Monica Pier Visitor Center on broadcasting. Anyway, this is it. This is the site right here. Get a good look at it, picture it. Let's reminisce, if you will. Let's think back to a better time in life when Larry got into the bumper car with the fellow with the long hair thinking he was a hot chick. Let's think back to all the fun that those famous roomies brought us. Right here, Patio 66, a brew with a view. When you see the bumper cars, you can sort of tell that it was outdoors, had a covering, but it was facing the beach. And it would make sense. They got rid of it for some more modern rides, but you are looking at the former site of the bumper cars. All right, Three's Company credits. The walk along here, you see them walking in this direction to the camera, and then at the end, you see them walking away from the camera, and then the freeze frame. A lot of these shops have changed, but in the scene where they're walking away from the camera, they get to right around here, and then it freezes. You see that bridge in the background. All right, we're looking for the spot where Jack, Janet, and Chrissy buy their t-shirts, and that would be right up here. We're fortunate that in the credits you see the number 320. Now the store's changed a little bit, not a Beachcomber anymore. Now it's a Blazing Saddles bike rental, but this is it. This is where they come out and model their new shirts, and we'll show that right here. And you can see the number is still the same. It still says 320 up in the corner, not on the door. It's a different business now, but this is it. We're looking for the spot where Lana trips Jack. Our three favorite roomies are walking along the pier having such a great day, and a mad woman sticks out her foot and trips Jack. That mad woman would be Lana. Let's see. Here's a bench facing the wrong direction, but look, a lot of things have changed. I think it's one more over. These stands weren't here, obviously, but I'm gonna say that it was behind the Japa Dog. Let me get a closer look and make sure, but I think it was right here behind Japa Dog. All right, the bench would have been right around here. Lana would have stuck out her foot and tripped Jack. The Japa Dog wasn't here yet. So you see the light pole, and there's been some additions, some security cameras, some new technology that didn't exist in 1977, but you see the beach, you see the view, and again, Bubba Gump was a different building back then, but I think a similar structure. We'll have to take a look at that. But right here, this is where it would have been. They should bring a bench back. We should have an honorary Three's Company bench. I should start bringing plaques everywhere and see if they let me turn this into a Three's Company landmark boardwalk. There's a good chance that somebody will do it and get all the credit, and I will get nothing but your like, comment, and maybe subscription. Thank you. All right, quick overview. All the way at the end of the pier was where the bumper cars were. This store that says Blazing Saddles was the t-shirt store where they came out and tried on the shirts. Then if you turn this direction, all of this is very close. If you want to take your own Three's Company tour, I'm telling you how to do it. It's very easy. I would go all the way to the end, start at the former side of the bumper cars, work your way up to the t-shirt store. It's now a bike rental. Don't rent the bike. Not safe. There's better means of transportation. And then right here, you walk past these restaurants, seafood restaurants, and you'll be walking the actual path that Jack, Jan, and Chrissy are walking as they were maybe wrapping up their day and heading back to their home. And we should see that home. I think that would be in order. So let's see the house from Three's Company. All right, we're looking for the apartment from Three's Company. Now, it's obviously an apartment on the show, but in real life it's a house. And you really only see it for a second. Three's Company ran from 1977 to 1984, based off the British sitcom Man About the House. Three's Company lasted 8 seasons. 2 spinoffs, The Ropers. I'll show you that house from The Ropers in this video. Or you can just go watch the other video. I did a nice long video about it. And Three's a Crowd. All right, here it is, the home of The Ropers. Now, The Ropers ran on ABC from March 1979 to May 1980. That's 2 seasons, 28 episodes. And while the exterior was filmed here, the show was filmed in front of an audience at CBS Television City in Hollywood. Now, unfortunately, unlike most houses we've gone to, this one is pretty secluded. In fact, it's behind these hedges. Now, we're gonna get a quick look, and then we can talk about it after, but this is it. This is the house from Three's Company. I don't really want to intrude too much. We'll get one more shot of it. But as you can see, there's not much to see. And it is strange that it was a house and not an apartment. It's about 10 minutes from the beach. Now, you've heard me say numerous times on the show, how do people think of these locations? Where do these location people think of this? Why this house to portray the apartment? It's so strange. And again, you only see it for 2 seconds. You see them zoom in towards the bottom where the Ropers live, and it says, and the Ropers, and that's it. On the show, I got the feeling that this was right off the Santa Monica Pier. It's not. It's a 10-minute drive, and it's a residential area, and people going about their residential business. And this is it. We'll give one more close look. I don't really want to invade on these people's property, or their privacy on their property, if you will. But we'll do it one more time. I'm waiting for my getaway car. All right, let's get one more look, and then we'll just match it up from there. On the bottom left would be the Ropers. Jack, Jan, and Chrissy lived up on top. And then around back, you would have Larry and the other neighbors. That's most of what you would have seen. Now, is this a tad anticlimactic? I mean, I suppose there's not much to see. Now, these people, they want their privacy. I can't say I blame them. But at the same time, I wonder how many Three's Company people, fans, are showing up and knocking the door. I mean, the song says, come and knock on my door. People are crazy. And I think maybe, I know it's been almost 50 years, but at some point maybe you don't want that attention. They're not the only house around here to have that. Well, most of these, but there's some apartments. That's an apartment building. So it's funny that they chose to live here. But again, up on top Jack, Janet, Chrissy, later Cindy, and later Terry. And then on the bottom, the Ropers, and later Mr. Furley. So this is it. If you're a Three's Company fan and you wanted to come see it, you might be slightly disappointed. Again, this is 1 second. A lot of shows I go to where we film the houses, you see the house in every episode, every intro, in this you get that one shot in some of the early credits, and that's it. I'm trying to show you as much as I can. Let's take a look at the Ropers and Mr. Furley's place. All right. I think we've seen it, right? We've seen it. All right, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this look at Three's Company, classic TV filming locations. Let me know what location you want me to go to next. What's your favorite show? Let's see if we can find it. Put it in the comments. While you're at it, let me know what your favorite episode of Three's Company was. I'm going to have to think about it. I had so many. It's not going to be easy. Like this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? We're trying to bring back 80s nostalgia, 70s nostalgia, 90s nostalgia, 2000, I don't know. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to walk off like the roommates.